Hi guys, this is Kendra with Hearts and Homes of Arkansas. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for giving of your time and volunteering on behalf of Hearts and Homes of Arkansas, the Arkansas Realtors Association, the Realtor Relief Foundation, and of course all those impacted by the recent storms. Thank you guys so very much. We couldn't do this without you. So we're going to go over just a few things today that you'll need to know while you're boots on the ground and in person working with all of those that are affected by the storm. I'm going to put up a bulletin on the screen to show you just what we're going to be going over. No. Maybe. I'm going to try to get through this video pretty quickly so that I'm not taking up your time and you can get on to what you came here to do. And of course, that is help out the community. So you'll see we have four things that we're going to try to tackle in this video. We're going to discuss the application, how to fill it out and what's needed, things that we're going to ask you to please not say, our goals and tasks for the day, and to dress the part, be safe. And so without further ado, we're going to get right on into the application, which I'm going to share that with you as well. Give me just a second. All right, so this is the bread and butter. So please help the applicants understand the high importance of filling out the application in its entirety and providing the necessary documentation, which is going to be shown near the bottom of page 1. We'll get to that in just a minute. I'm not going to read this word for word. I know how much realtors love to read and how much everyone else does. So I'm going to let you guys have the privilege of doing that on your own. So we're just going to hit on the high notes. So we can get help with grant approvals for 4 different things: mortgage assistance, rent assistance, hotels, bills paid, insurance, deductibles, not the payments. So let's scroll on down to the bottom and you're going to see this attachment checklist, which is so very important. This is required documentation. This is easily overlooked. So please help the applicants remember to do this. Don't forget that the photo of damage is needed with every application. This seems small, but it is required documentation, and we can't process their application without all the required documents. Also required is proof of residency and payments made. This can be in the form of a signed lease, and keep in mind the lease must be signed, or a mortgage statement. This is the suggested documentation. However, in this case, it's harder for them to get some of their stuff, so substitutions can be made. In the event they cannot access their mortgage or their signed lease, there are other options that have been allowed for this specific case. We must prove their residency and that they do reside at the location affected. This can be done by previously mentioned mortgage statement or lease, or we can get a little bit creative. A driver's license and a utility bill or other official documentation that shows the address of the home matches the address on the application, along with the applicant's name, of course. In this event, we'll also need proof of payment. So this could be a cash app showing the last few months paid to the landlord or to the mortgage company. It could be a bank statement showing the same payments to a landlord or a mortgage company. There are different ways to prove these payments have been made, receipts and such, but we do have to have something that shows this. Let's see. At the bottom, scrolling down at the bottom of page 1, you'll see an area for them to fill out personal information. This is crucial that it's accurate and it's legible. If they're filling in by hand, and it's up to date. This is how we'll contact them if they're approved, or if we have any questions, we may need to give them a call. Approval info will be sent by email from the Arkansas Realtors Association, ideally within 72 hours. Ask them to watch their emails. And if you move on to page 2, there's a spot for an explanation. Just have them explain their situation and their need. You'll go into some more questions. If they don't have the amount of the cost of damage, that's okay. Just put unknown or undetermined. Fill out the assistance received. Receiving other assistance isn't going to keep them from getting help from Hearts and Homes. Continue on to fill out page 2 and 3. And please make sure all this information is accurate. We will be reaching out to them by email to let them know how, when, and where to pick up their funds if they are approved. We may need to give them a call if we have any questions during the approval process. So these forms of communications need to be accessible to them within the next 72 hours. Please make sure that there's a signature on the signature line of the application, which is right there. So again, on the high notes, the application must be fully filled out. Required documentation is truly required. If using a lease, it must be signed. Photo of damage must be included with all applications. Oh, one last thing, their photo ID or driver's license will be required for them to pick up the funds in the event they are approved. So we're going to get on into bulletin number 2. Give me a second and I'm going to pop this off the screen. And things that we're going to ask you to please not say. Please don't promise grants or the amount that they'll receive. We do take each application in front of the board for approval, so please don't promise anything that we may not be able to fulfill. It is, however, perfectly acceptable to tell them grants are up to $2,000 based on need and provided documentation that they send with their application. So it's so important to get it fully filled out. This is kind of a tough one. Please don't use a sales pitch on these folks. Please don't mention buying a home. We're here to help these guys out at one of their lowest and most difficult times of their life. So we're here to help the community and give back, not to help ourselves find new clients. So please refrain from that when all possible. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So we're going to go on into the third bulletin, what our goal is and what the task for the day is. This is going to vary depending on where you're stationed. The goal is to help the community by distributing relief applications to as many people as possible that were affected, of course, helping the applicants understand how to fill out the application on their own if they're not doing it with you at site. But best case scenario is that you can sit down with them and help them fill out that application to make sure it's done correctly, as well as get all of the required documentation or help them to understand what's required. Please, y'all, don't just hand them the application and not explain it. It seems simple, but they have so much going, could miss these details, which could prevent them from getting an approval. Also, they need to know how they will pick up their funds if they're approved for a grant. They're going to be notified by the Arkansas Realtors Association. This is another reason it is so important for their application to be accurate and fully filled out. If approved, the email will go directly to them and give them directions on how to pick up their funds and when and where. Your task is going to vary based on your specific command center. You'll have a Hearts at Homes board member that's going to be there to lead the way, answer any of your questions. So please refer to them for specific needs at your command center. We may be asking you to walk the community, hand out applications, explain those applications when you do, sitting down with those, helping them fill out the application. You may be needed at the command center to assist those folks in filling out the applications or other things needed there. There may be things that come up that we don't even know about. And so your willingness to help is all we need. There's going to be a Hearts and Homes member or someone at the command center that's going to need your help. So last things, be safe and dress the part. Keep in mind, we're going to be walking in areas with debris. Dress at your comfort level. It may be rainy or bad weather, even rough terrain. There may be a lot of walking and standing. So wear good, sensible shoes, good clothes. Would love to see you in Realtor Blue. Just dress wise and be comfortable and safe. Do this, if nothing else, to prevent coming home with a nail in your foot or worse. So let's be safe. We're asking you all to work in groups of 2 or more. If you were to get hurt, we don't want you out there by yourself. So please don't go at it alone. Find a partner or a group and we'll work together. So to hit the high notes one last time, fill out the application in its entirety. And don't forget the required documentation. The mortgage statement, signed lease, that lease must be signed, photo with every application. Or one of the other mentioned items above. Make sure all information is correct and we have a good working email and phone number that they can be contacted sometime between now and the next 72 hours. Make sure they are watching their emails. Please be thoughtful of their situation. I know you guys will. Dress smart and y'all just have fun. Be in good spirits for these folks. You could be their light in all of this. Thank you so much for your help and taking time out of your day to come down here and do this for 1, 2, or even 3 days. We're just so glad to be a small part of the recovery effort with you guys and know we couldn't do it without you. Can't wait to see everybody build back better and stronger. So y'all, go get it.